Alright, trucks at Homestead. Here are my settings. Pretty standard for what I run at 1.5 miles in the truck. Sometimes I do +2 in the offset. It doesn't matter too much though. You're going to need low brake bias. You're going to do a little bit of tapping and dragging on both ends. So definitely make sure your brake bias isn't set too high. But with the amounts that we use it, like less than 10% usually, it doesn't super duper matter if you're way up high. Where that low brake bias really helps you out is between that 10 to 20% range, just because you're using more of the brake at that point, so you're getting even more rotation. It should be a second lap hot lap. I'm going to try to make 1 and 2 work on first lap, but there's usually just not enough grip. And that's not great either if I'm not going to have a super good run off the corner. It's not the worst. Yeah, it just doesn't stick quite as well. I'll try to get a good run off the corner. But yeah, we'll make it a second lap. 300ths doesn't seem like a lot, but that's pretty consistent on the second lap. I don't love the top of 3 and 4. There's just a little grip for no reason in the middle of the corner. Sticks a little better. Throttle all the way up to the top. Try to get on that gas early, get the car to rotate, keep it off the wall and exit. See, it's pretty consistent. Okay, now we're gonna try to do a late entry, get all the way to the bottom. So let's sit down here and then go. It's a little early to the bottom. See if I can wrestle it off the wall here. I can. All right. So yeah, I would have loved to get a little bit to the bottom to a little bit later in 3 and 4, but other than that, it was a good lap. What was that, 98 degrees? So, going to turn 1 and 2 here. Oh yeah, sorry, the run up, nothing too crazy. I let off a little bit early. I don't worry about the brake or anything here. Just a little early. You're gonna lose grip about like right here, just like inexplicably in the middle of the corner. No matter how much speed you're carrying, car will feel like it just lost grip. So you gotta plan for that and just hold your throttle a little bit through. And then once you get through that little part and your car starts turning again, that's when you go full throttle. So just try to time that full throttle right after right after the middle. So entering the corner here, I kind of think of it as mini Darlington. I'm aiming for the seam here, smooth off the throttle on a brake tap, and then I throttle once I get to where I want to go on the bottom here, or sorry, on the seam. I drag my brake to the seam, I then pick up half throttle on the seam, and then just ride that half throttle up to the wall, and then at a certain point the car will start to rotate. The weight will go from the right front to the right rear. You'll go from tight to loose. The moment you go from tight to loose, you commit to the throttle because it'll turn your car off the wall. If you don't commit to the throttle here, you won't turn the car off the wall. So actually, the faster you go, the more you'll avoid the wall. So tap, half throttle, weight shift, and then throttle it off the wall. Sometimes the car will turn back down the track. You can let it do that, but that's fine the way it is there. And really, the exit is literally nothing as long as you get this timing correct. It's all about picking up your throttle in a way to where it induces the oversteer, and you're just able to rotate your car off the corner. You might have to save a little snap moment, but yeah, not too bad. Bottom of 3 and 4 here. So I would love to maybe get to the white line. So if I get to the white line right here, I think I would have loved to get there like right here. Just helps the angle on exit, because the goal is once I get to the white line, I'm going to throttle through the white line. Unless I get there too early, then I got to be a little patient. So you can see that even though I got here early, I did that little bit of a trail brake to the bottom, and then I throttle through the white line, and you see I have to hold that 80% for a bit, and that was so close. But if you get to the white a little bit later than I did, and it's not super easy, right? Because you run the risk of just missing the white line entirely, and that depends on your trail brake and your turn and angle and all that stuff. But your job, once you get down here, is throttle through the white line and then do whatever you can to keep the car rotating. And then if you hit the wall, you hit the wall. But the later that you hit that white line in the corner, the easier that exit will be. Longer line, completely different. Completely different. So the top will be better, or like the qualifying line is good for like 7 laps, I want to say. Like full pushing something, really good for like 7-ish laps. So if you're in a late race situation, off the start, you might not want to lose too much track position. Then you go really hard and you run the lines kind of similar to qualifying, and it's no issue at all. Once your car strings out, once the race strings out a bit, or you don't have any pressure off the back, or you want to try to save your tires, this is the line I recommend. So really early, get to the bottom and just drag the brake on the bottom, pick up the throttle early, but then just hold it down here at the bottom. And we're not even going to let the car really come up at all. Like, this is even a little bit high for how I want to leave it. Notice how we're about 0.3 off. So that's why I don't recommend this line for the first like restart portions. But once you get to that 5 to 10 lap, it kind of depends on the competition that you have. At a certain point, like look how the bottom here, like this line is already pretty good in 3 and 4. So like really for early run, I would like push 1 and 2, right? And even then, I probably wouldn't want the car to slide up too much here. So that line there was like a 10th below. Yeah, 10th better. But even then, I just would not run the top of 3 and 4. I just love this bottom line. You just camp the white line. You don't even let it come off when you're exiting. You see how that didn't really affect my time? It does a little bit, but that doesn't mean too much in a race. And I'll try really easy here too. Just right on the white line. And then we pick up that throttle early and we just coast at that half throttle. And yeah, we're gonna lose some time to that top line that I ran. But you can see how it's not even that bad at this point. By like lap 10, this bottom line is just better. The fall off, the natural fall off affects the top way more than this line. So what I would recommend is if you're trying to maintain your track position, run top of 1 and 2 for 5-ish laps. Run whatever defensive lines you need to run. Then when you start getting some space, when you have about 0.2 off your back, just run this bottom line. Saves your tires like crazy if in the case that it goes long run. Doesn't always go long run in these, but this is kind of that universal amazing tire saving line at Homestead. You even see them do it in the Coke series for the next gen. It's just how you run Homestead everything. And in fact, you don't even need to go to the Xfinity video at this point for long run, because this is the line for Xfinity too. Just running the bottom, not letting the car slide up too early, just taking all the forces off the tire. And you just do that over and over and over again. So in real life, when Homestead is some of the most exciting lines, iRacing, Homestead, to do it correctly, is probably some of the more chill lines. I like it. I don't think it's boring, but it's chill. All right. Oh yeah. Even tire wear, you see. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope to see you all on the track.